Welcome. My name is Art Robbins, and I am the host of a new podcast launching in July 2025, Leadership Art. You are probably wondering what this podcast is about. Well, I'm here to answer all your questions by interviewing the best expert on the Leadership Art podcast, none other than the host himself, Art Robbins. Welcome, Art, and thanks for joining me today. Thanks, Art. Glad to be here. Well, let's start with the basics. What is leadership art, and what inspired you to create this podcast? The Leadership Art podcast showcases everyday leadership in action. Each episode features insightful conversations with industry leaders who lead with purpose. Listeners discover practical insights, powerful lessons, and everyday inspiration to elevate your impact, whether you're leading now or preparing to step up. Well, that makes sense. But there are already so many leadership podcasts. What makes leadership art unique? Well, that's a good point. What sets leadership art apart is that this podcast features real stories and experiences from inspirational leaders. This isn't about learning a new methodology or a new framework. It's not the five forces or seven habits or six circles. It's hearing about everyday acts of leadership that you can easily adopt and make a significant impact yourself. Got it. So, who will you be interviewing? How did you select them? And what kind of stories can we expect to hear? Well, we will have a broad variety of guests featuring leaders in business, academia, and communities, and leaders at all levels and all ages. You don't have to be the CEO of the market leader or the innovator of a Nobel Prize worthy invention. We are speaking to approachable, inspirational people who have great stories to tell to motivate you to adopt your own leadership agenda. It sounds like there's something for everyone. So, what do you expect listeners will gain from tuning into leadership art? Well, my hope is that they will see some great examples of leadership, both role models to follow and leadership acts that they can emulate. I want them to commit to being value driven, purpose driven leaders that our world needs more of. That's really inspiring. With the podcast launching next month, what makes this the perfect time to introduce leadership art? Well, honestly, I think we need it now more than ever. In today's world, it seems we are saturated with headlines highlighting poor leadership. And it's easy to forget that powerful, positive leadership is happening all around us every day, quietly, consistently, and with real impact. We want to shine a light on those often untold stories. Absolutely. Along those lines, why do you think leadership lessons are so important in today's world? Good question. And honestly, I think it's easy for people, both existing and aspiring leaders, to get discouraged and disillusioned. Today's media gives the impression that they must make the most noise to be recognized as a great leader. They must be the wealthiest person or run the biggest company to be a great leader. This is not true. There are basic, simple, impactful things that they could start to do today and every day to showcase their abilities, their values, their impact, and establish themselves as great leaders who will only get better. Well, that's a great perspective. And can you share a key leadership lesson that you have personally learned that has influenced your own approach? Sure. Personally, I always think of this story that happened some years after my job leading a large consulting organization. I met one of the senior analysts who worked there, and we were reminiscing. And he said to me, Art, I always remember how much I liked your talks to us at our monthly all hands meetings. And I asked, Really? What did I say that you liked so much? He replied, Well, I don't remember anything that you said, but I do remember how you made me feel. And I always felt good about the company and what we were doing. Good or bad, you always told us openly what was going on, what the strategy was to hit our goals, what our role was to make that happen, and how you were going to support us. And that's what he said. And when I thought about it more, it actually summed up my leadership style quite well. Be open and transparent with the team, value and respect them, tell the truth, good or bad, tell them the strategy, how to go from good to great, or how to fix a problem. Emphasize teamwork and be there to support them. I was flattered that he shared those feelings with me, the feeling of being valued years later, even if he didn't remember any of the words I said. That's a great anecdote, and I could see why you're passionate about purpose driven leadership. Before we wrap up, how can listeners subscribe and stay updated on new episodes of Leadership Art? Well, you can listen to Leadership Art on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts, and follow us on LinkedIn and Instagram. The first episode will broadcast starting in July 2025. Art, thank you again for your interview. Leadership Art promises to be a valuable, insightful, and impactful podcast, and we can't wait for you to tune in when it launches this July.